Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video I'm going to take you through dollar yen as price could be about to reverse. So we're going to look at a reversal opportunity, and we've seen a lot of dollar weakness coming into the market today. Dollar index reached a high, started to see some selling coming into the market. Overall, fundamentally, you probably want to be a bit more on the bullish side of things with the dollar. However, doesn't mean that price isn't going to come lower first before continuing a move. Now, dollar yen obviously we know has been in an uptrend for quite some time now. We talked about this way back in sort of the start of the year and even the start of 2021, looking for that yen weakness to coming into play. Now, one thing we did look at was the correlation between the US 10-year yields and the dollar yen, and you can see I've got this chart up through here. You can grab these charts at tradingeconomics.com, and basically you've got the dollar yen, which is in blue, and the US 10 years, which are in green, and you can see how closely correlated those two markets have been. Okay, however, recently we've started to see the US 10 year move to the downside and dollar yen remain fairly bullish. So that could tell us one or two things. It could tell us that the correlation is maybe separating, or it can tell us that the dollar yen is lagging behind slightly. Okay, really speaking, what we're looking for is the dollar yen going to start matching back up with the US 10-year yields, and is it going to mean that price is going to push back to the downside? Okay, like I said though, have to be aware that the correlation could be changing slightly. However, we know over the past year, even if we look further back, the correlation of the two instruments are quite closely correlated. So yeah, I'm looking for the dollar yen to almost catch up here. Now, if we look at the price action, if we look at it just on its own, we can see that price is extended to the upside. Okay, broke previous structure high. Now, what's most interesting is the the last 3 weeks, okay, including this week, price has kind of started to slow down here. And what I mean by that is the range at which the price is extending has become less. We're closing back within previous highs. Typically, when price starts to do that, we can often see a pullback in the market. Now, I'm not saying that price is going to start heading back down towards here. Don't think that's going to happen, because if we look at it from a fundamental outlook, we've got the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates. Bank of Japan are doing nothing. So really speaking, the dollar yen could continue to move much, much higher. It's just where do we want to be a buyer of the market as well? If we did want to trade that sort of uptrend on a fundamental basis, where do we want to be a buyer from? So we've got these kind of highs previously down here where the market found some resistance that could act to support. If you just look at it from a standard support and resistance, we could eye up the fact that buying came up down through this sort of area. I'm not so sure we're going to see price pull back as deep as this. Obviously it could. I can't tell the future, but there could be an area that you'd want to be a buyer from down towards the 128s. But essentially, what does that mean? Well, it means that we could get a short-term pullback, even if we're only looking for it to come back into that previous structure point. Now, if I go down to the daily time frame, what's kind of giving it away for the potential for price to pull back? Well, you can notice that price has come back up to the previous highs. We've rejected it, and price has broken through the previous day's low. Now, what that means is that prices could be forming a very common pattern in the markets, which is that double top pattern. One of my sort of favorite patterns is the double top pattern, and the reason being is because you can get quite a lot of opportunities around the previous structure highs. Reason for that is because price has sold off from here recently, okay, and it shows us that sellers have been active towards this level. So when price rejects it again, it almost kind of gives you that opportunity to see if sellers are going to react there again, and do those sellers either want to get back in at that point or defend the level at that point. Usually sellers don't defend if the market's going to move higher. So you can see here, previous high, price comes into it, we blow straight through it. Those are these kind of traders getting out of the market at that point that have gone short through there. Okay, so nice sort of double top there. First sort of target is going to be down towards this low. We don't really want to trade past this point unless price breaks this point. Okay, so looking at this from a 4-hour time frame, how could we potentially shape this up? Well, I'll be looking for something very similar to what just happened there on that daily time frame. I'll be looking for price to come back to the highs. So first of all, I'm just going to mark out an area where buyers have come back into the market. So you can see here, buying coming back into the market. We've got these wicks and then price rallied to the upside. So I need to know that area because, again, like I said earlier, price could potentially come back into that point for a reversal opportunity. So let me just clean this up a little bit. Let's just put a zone so we know exactly where that is. It's around about 134.62, and that's the zone that price could come into for buyers to step back into the market. If we break this point, we could be heading lower. We could be heading towards those zones from the daily chart. Now what I'm going to do is highlight where that selling started to come from. So you can see we have this really nice sort of wick to the upside, closing back within that range, and then a couple of hours later, or a couple of 4-hour candles later, we start to see that push to the downside. So I'm actually going to highlight where that sort of selling pressure really started to come from, and it came from sort of the highs at 136.80 down to the 136.45. So that is going to be my area of interest for dollar yen now. I want to see price push back towards that level, come into it, reject it on a lower time frame, and that will give me the opportunity to try and trade back towards these lows. Okay, if price just continues and we hit this low first, we could still get sellers up here, but there'll be, it'll be less likely that we would see a decent push to the downside. We probably only get a smaller push before seeing a continuation. But ultimately, dollar yen, looking to see if it comes back in line with this US 10-year yield. Does it start to follow the recent path that has been on? And can we look for opportunities in the near term? Thanks for watching this video update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content. And I'll speak to you in the next video.